I want to discuss with you today letting go, or trying to let go, one of the pitfalls on the path to mastery. Yeah, I'm really influenced by this book, which I told you about in previous videos, called Mastery by George Leonard. Sometimes it goes too much in, for me personally, of course, only too much in a spiritual, Zen-oriented direction. I'm still not there to absorb all this high-level info, but on a very practical manner, on a very practical level, I can tell you that a great chapter mentions 13 pitfalls along the way to mastery, where we all fall. And I want to talk to you today about goal orientation, being too much goal oriented. I just got back today to the swimming pool after 4 days without any activity because I was abroad. It's a great story on its own. Went with the son of my girlfriend, who's 7 years old. Just me and him, had so much fun in London. Went to a Manchester United game, traveled all the way to Manchester, spent time on trains and taxis and airplanes, and everything was perfect. The game was unbelievable, so really thankful for that. And also been writing very, very methodically again in the gratitude journal. I rediscovered that, recommitted myself to this, so I'm really, really in a positive place. Then I came back to the swimming pool, and having not swam for 4 days and not having a real history of swimming, since I've only been doing this for less than 2 months, my mindset was let's see if I can do 20, which is what I've been doing for the last week, 2 weeks, which is 20 pools. Now that's the wrong mindset, because what I should have been thinking about is let's re-immerse myself into the water. And what happened is I was able to complete barely 18 laps, but I was struggling, I was swallowing water, I was coughing, I was fighting with the water. Something happened during these 4 days that I was away that disengaged me from the immersion experience in the water, from surrendering myself to the water. I was suddenly gasping for air again, things that I did in the beginning. So I said, okay, you want to know why I did 18? Because I almost suffocated on the last lap, and I had to stop. Okay, so then I did some training for my total immersion class, studying freestyle, which I have every Wednesday. I repeated some exercises, skates, switching, all these things which I'm really bad at right now. I really hope it comes together, but it's only 2 lessons out of 10, so we're hoping for a serious shift. But I know that it's gonna get worse before it gets better. That's a different subject. So I did my training, and as I was doing this training and I was diving, skating into the water, switching in the water, it just got back to a more comfortable place. And then I said, you know what, let's swim again. To end this exercise, to end this day in the pool, let's just swim again, regular style, my weird breaststroke style. Let's go for whatever I can do. Let's just feel right. So I started, and it just felt right again. The breathing was back to normal. The feeling under the water, the length of the movements, it just felt right again. And I did 20 laps because there is always a shred of goal orientation, but the pitfall is over-obsessed with goal orientation, not lack of. Because as Mr. Leonard says very smartly, a 21st century Western Hemisphere person cannot really let go of goals. It's too much of a challenge because our lives are predicated by goals. So it's okay, you have your goals, you have to put them in control, right? In control of your experience, and immerse yourself in the actual experience. That's what I did. So basically I completed the 20. So ironically, what I did today is 18 plus 20, which is almost a kilometer. It's 950 meters, which is, I've never swum in one day such a distance. Of course, there was a break in between, right? At least a 20-minute break, I think, 15-20 minute break. But that's just, for me, it's an unusual distance, but that's not the point. The point is that after the 18 laps that I started early in the morning, I was exhausted and I felt everything was disjointed. And after the 20, I felt elated. I felt, oh, I can do another 20. I just gotta get to work, you know what I'm saying? But that was a great victory. And also getting to the pool at 6:30 in the morning, understanding that sleep is an excuse, laziness is an excuse, staying in bed, catching another 30 minutes. That's not going to change anything. Once you go outside of your sleep cycles, you know, sleep cycle is an hour and a half. If you can complete another an hour and a half, then I can understand the temptation of staying in bed. Believe you me, I understand the temptation. Okay, but let's say I had my clock set for 6:30, and I woke up at 6, just naturally. So I said to myself, what's the point? You know, just linger around the bed for another 30 minutes. Doesn't make any sense. Even if you fall back asleep, it's not quality sleep. It's not even it's not a third of a sleep cycle. So just get out of bed, get yourself ready, and get your ass in the swimming pool. So that's my advice for you today. Surrender to the experience. Be kind to yourself. Don't fall into the pitfall of over obsession with goal orientation. Just flow with what you do, and don't let excuses, illogical excuses, stop you from moving along the path of your own personal mastery.